I'm Danielle Prokop, and on today's Table Talk, I have with me Pat Heath, the Gering City Administrator. Good morning, Pat. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, so I just wanted to learn a little bit more about where the city currently is in its budget process.
Well, at the end of the month, we're halfway through our budget year, and our budget year is, of course, dictated by state statute, October 1st through September 30th. And so right now we've had some discussions last week about setting our schedule for this year's budget process, and it will start sometime in April. So,
And how's that process going without a Director of Finances?
I think it'll go well. We have, of course, Liz from City Scottsbluff's Finance Director is going to assist us this year with our budget process. And I think it'll go quite well. There will be a few changes I think she makes, which I think are positive changes for us. And I think that's one reason why we're starting just a little bit earlier, probably about a month to 3 weeks earlier, just for the fact that she can manage both budget processes in both cities for us. So.
And so what's that estimated impact looking like because of COVID-19 for this year's budget?
The current budget we're in, we've spent probably around $12,000 just on PPEs. Mm-hmm. That doesn't include, there's been some other staff's time, some overtime, things like that, and staff maybe from their regular jobs put towards maybe COVID type responses. We haven't put a dollar amount to that, but we just know we spent a considerable amount of money on PPEs that we didn't plan for. I mean, we do plan for PPEs every year depending on the department. Mm-hmm. But, it's gone okay. We haven't spent a huge amount. It hasn't been a huge effect on our budget. But one thing I will point out is the PPEs we purchase now are 3 times more than what they were pre-COVID. So there has been a small hit on some of the departments, especially fire and police, probably the ones that experience that the worst because they use the most PPEs. So.
Is there a concern too on the revenue side because of COVID-19, people going out less, hitting facilities less?
Actually, our tax revenues have increased just a little bit, and I don't know if that's because people are shopping more in Gering or what has happened, but there's been a slight increase in that. We haven't seen a decrease in that. Utilities seem to be about the same, so we haven't noticed a difference in revenues for the COVID side as much as we have a little bit on the expenditure side.
Is there an expected or anticipated budget crunch this year?
I think that we're going to be cautious with this year's budget just because we have, we just don't know what the next year is going to bring, and I think we're just going to kind of be cautious. As we were this year, we were kind of pretty cautious with our budget, pretty conservative, and I think we're going to maintain that into next year's
Does that
budget
mean
process.
Cutting programs or any other measures?
I don't think we're going to have to cut any programs or anything. I think if we come through with a similar budget we did this year, I think our budget this year was around $36 million. I think we should come in a little less because we're going to have probably one project that was about a $2 million project that we are completing, and so we should come in a little less than the $36 million, I think, or that's what my hope is. So we'll see when we get to that point.
To sort of shift tactic a little bit, you're taking over the helm now after 12 years of under Lane Daniels' leadership at the city administrator position. What are some of your focuses right now at the city to get into that position?
Well, I think one thing we want to complete some things that have begun under Lane's leadership, and some of that was the annexation, annexing some of these areas in the city where we've completely surrounded those areas. We have some areas in our industrial park, southeast side of the city, that's actually have paved roads, have city utilities, and they're still outside the city limits. So those are areas we need to get annexed, just kind of clean up our boundaries. They'll be completing that. Of course, the thing we want to complete is the quad field softball, baseball project. Mm-hmm. And that should be done here I would assume within the next month is the plan. Street replacement projects, those are typical just about every year. We try to budget a few of those every year so that we try to keep up on our streets. And those include, I think, Twin City Drive, complete replacement. It's only a block or so. Holly Drive and A Street will be mill and overlays. So we want to continue our work on our electrical system upgrade. We've been doing a voltage conversion there. We've done a portion of the city, the east part of the city. We need to still work our way through the other portions of the city, and that includes some transformer replacements. So we can convert more over to the new voltage, especially east of 7th Street and east of 10th Street. So those are projects, those are going to be priorities. One big priority we found, and we're going to definitely have a priority for next year's budget, is updating our utility and our finance software. Software we have is 14 years old. It's very limited support now, and that's going to be a big priority for the city to get those upgraded and get that upgraded. And that should increase our efficiency also. So one other big project we're going to have is our hail damage repair. We have repairs from 2019 and 2020 to get done. We did not pursue those repairs last year, last summer, because for the 19, just for the fact that there were so many homes and businesses being repaired. We didn't have leaks, we didn't have serious issues, so we were just going to hold them off till this year. And then of course we had another little hailstorm in July that hit the south end of Gering, so now we have additional buildings and facilities to get those, mainly roofs repaired. So. And
to go back to the utilities, making it more efficient, upgrading the software there, you had a consolidation of the utility department for upgrades as part of this. Is that another consideration for upgrading the software as well?
Not really. It's just our software is so antiquated. It just takes, to get it takes 7 different things to get one. You have to input 7 different things to get one outcome. And with the newer software, Windows-based software, there's been so much change in technology and these type of softwares for utility billing and finance that it's just going to be it's a 180-degree turn. It'll be a complete new world for us. So I think we've been a little behind on technology, and that's one of my goals, to get that. It's kind of the first goal, is to get that done, and then look at some other areas where we're maybe a little behind the times on technology. So.
And just my final question, you've had some time to get your feet wet. How are you feeling? What do you feel you need to learn on the job?
Oh, there's plenty to learn. Even though I've been at the city for almost 30 years now, it'll be 30 years this summer, there's just so much to learn, especially on the administrative side. I have a good feel with all the department heads. They've all been around for quite a while. They've been great. They're excellent. They do a great job, along with all of our staff does a great job. But there are some things, the TIF, the LB 840, and some of those things I didn't follow. I knew they were there. I didn't really follow them a lot. So getting a hand around those and just getting kind of comfortable in this position as far as administrating the whole city instead of just administrating, just certain departments. So those are things I still have time to, need time to learn, and I'm getting more comfortable every day. I'm learning a little more every day, and it's been great. I love what I'm doing, so looking forward to the future for the city and for the city of Gering overall.
Well, Pat, thank you so much for joining us today on Table Talk. You can read more about our coverage of the city of Gering or more information on starherald.com.